Well, meantime, construction already underway in Texas on a new state military base along the southern border. Governor Greg Abbott announcing the base will be located just outside of Eagle Pass. Of course, that is where we have seen some big migrant surges over the past year. And it's the latest move in Texas's battle with the Biden administration over securing their border. And it comes as several Republican governors pledged to send members of their own National Guards to help at the Texas border. Democrats, though, calling it, quote, election year grandstanding. Correspondent Ali Bradley is live. Ali, what can you tell us about this new base?
Yeah, hey, Nicole. So the fight between the feds and Governor Greg Abbott has kind of gone cold. Now, last week, we know that Attorney General Ken Paxton gave the Department of Homeland Security that end-of-day deadline by Thursday to prove that they own some of that land that the state had seized. Well, that deadline came and went seemingly silently, basically marking a victory for Texas and Governor Greg Abbott. We talked with the Border Patrol president about that. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we want to talk about that base first here. What we know here is that Governor Greg Abbott making that announcement of this new infrastructure. It's seemingly the largest military infrastructure that Governor Abbott has erected under Operation Lone Star in his move here. Now, this base in Eagle Pass is going to accommodate up to 2,300 National Guard soldiers. This is, again, a big move by the governor, and this is called the Forward Operating Base. Take a listen to what he had to say when he made the announcement.
It just continues to put pressure on the cartels, and anytime that he does that, it causes the cartels to rethink about what their operations are going to be in that particular area. Texas has dropped to where Del Rio was the leading sector in apprehensions to now that they're the fourth sector in apprehensions, and that's strictly based upon what Governor Abbott has done.
Okay, so you heard Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd there explaining how the cartel is operating right now and kind of reacting to what Governor Abbott is doing here. Now, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp also throwing his support behind Governor Greg Abbott. He's saying he's going to send a team of 15 to 20 Guard members to help build the forward command post for Texas Guard. Kemp first deployed troops to the border in 2019, and 29 Guard members are still deployed there, offering surveillance for Texas there. New Hampshire's Governor Chris Sununu also announcing he will be deploying 15 volunteer National Guard soldiers to Texas southern border for 90 days. Back in November, that governor deployed 2 units, nearly 165 members of the state National Guard for a 1-year stint at the southern border. Now, Nicole, we know that these governors are among 25 that are backing Texas Governor Greg Abbott, and they're not the only 2 that are sending resources either. We know that Governor Ron DeSantis out of Florida has been sending National Guard soldiers and resources for quite some time now. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem also sending in some of those resources. Nicole.
All right, so Ali, what are we seeing when it comes to border crossings in other states?
Yeah, so we actually just got some new numbers showing that we have surpassed over 1 million encounters for this fiscal year that began on October 1st. When we compare it to the same time frame in last year, we're looking at about 100,000 less people had crossed. Now, Texas is seeing a substantial decline in their crossings. We've seen the traffic really shifting. A lot of that, as Brandon was even talking about, the cartels are capitalizing. So a lot of this shift has moved to the Tucson sector, which is leading in encounters right now, and the San Diego sector also leading in encounters. But Nicole, I do want to mention that Texas is seeing a slight increase. Once again, we saw numbers go all the way down to about 200 to 250 a day. Now we're looking at between 470 and 550 a day. So we're doubling our encounter numbers back down in Texas. Nicole.
Yeah, those numbers are increasing again. All right, Ali, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.